I'm back with another video for Honeybee Stamps. Today we are going to be using some 3D embossing folders, the Snowy Pines and the Snowflakes. Also using some snowflakes from this, what is the stamp set called? The dies are the Lovely Layers large snowflakes. The other one is called Let It Snow. And we're going to be using some perfect pearls. Now, the one on the left, I'm not using the copper, but these all come in the metallic set. You can buy them in sets. If you buy them in sets, there is the Perfect Pearls medium that is included, so you wouldn't need any other, I don't want to say adhesive, that's not right. You wouldn't need any other ink, but I am using just Versamark and some pigment inks today. So I'm going to go ahead and 3D emboss both of these. I've spritzed the back of my black cardstock just to make sure I get a really good deep impression. And then we're going to launch right into the technique. I am getting this video up a little bit later, so before I get too far into the technique, I do want to let you know, because it's Black Friday, y'all. You know how it is. It's the biggest sale day ever. Honeybee they're actually doing 2 sales for this season. Today's sale, and it's today only, the 24th, is 20% off your entire purchase. Monday's sale will be buy one, get one, 50% off of all dies. That's for Cyber Monday. So if you are interested in picking up anything from Honeybee, pause it and go before the sale is over. So how are we doing this? I am using, this time I'm using my Speedball brayer. And I'm using just clear embossing ink. This one is Honeybee's, but you can use Versamark. You can use whatever you have. And I'm just brayering over the entire thing. This is going to hit all of the raised areas and put down ink. You may have noticed I went over it in different directions. That's just make sure that I get the most on there that I possibly can. And then if you've never used Perfect Pearls before, they are, just powdered pigments, and they're super sparkly and shiny, and they'll adhere to your, really any kind of ink, I think, as long as it stays wet long enough. But they will adhere to your clear embossing inks. So this other set, I told you I got the metallics one in a set. I also got the green, the blue, and the purple in a different set. And they're called Forever Violet, Forever Green, and Forever Blue. And then I just use the regular, my white is just Perfect Pearls in the color Perfect Pearls. Something to note, and I will show you this, an example of this a little bit later. Whatever color you put down first is what you're going to get. So like when you put it down, that's pretty much what's going to adhere to it. You won't be able to go over it with another color and change the color. Once that powder sticks, it's stuck. So this first go round is pretty much, you can just pounce it anywhere you want. This brush is also included in the little kits that they sell. You can just pounce it wherever you want, up and down. A little bit goes a long way. I've had my Perfect Pearls for forever, and they're really inexpensive. So something that's really inexpensive that lasts a long time, like, I'm here for it. Once you have all of your images covered, you want to go in with your brush and pretty aggressively just wipe off the excess. So you just want to go back and forth with the brush to dust off all of the excess, and then you'll see you're left with this really beautiful shine on just the parts that had the ink. And you'll see it here in a second when the light starts to catch it. Really, really love these. I use them all the time mix them with water and use them with splatter, but there are tons of different ways that you can use them, and this is one of them. You can also use, like I said earlier, pigment ink. So I recently bought one of the Tim Holtz sprayers. They have all different sizes. I picked one up because I have the Speedball one, but it is quite large. So I picked up one of these in a more medium size, and it worked just the same. It was just as good. So I'm now going in. This is just white pigment ink. I'm pretty sure you could probably use any pigment ink. But I don't have a lot of pigment inks. Most of my inks are dye inks. But the white does work. I will show them to you side by side. When I'm done with this one, I'm doing the same application as I did the first time. I didn't notice too much of a difference. Like, I don't think it's any brighter with the white underneath it versus the Versamark underneath, or the clear embossing powder underneath it. But you let me know what you think. Something to note about this particular technique. It's not going to be perfect. It's not perfection. You're going to maybe get some ink in the background. It's going to miss areas on the embossing. Though I will say that because the snowflakes, because they're closer together, I did have a more even application of ink on there than I did on the snowy pines. But honestly, the snowy pines is my favorite. That's the one that I first practiced this on. So with the snowy pines, we're going to do the application just slightly different. But back to the honeybee sail, a lot of people don't know this, even though I do say it in my videos. They carry much more than just their own brand of stamps and dies. They carry every single thing I used to make these cards. The perfect pearls, later on I'm going to use some Copic ink. Literally everything that I use to make these cards. Like they carry distress inks, they carry cardstocks. So the 20% off your entire purchase is really a fantastic opportunity to not just get anything in the honeybee line that you may be interested in, but also anything that they carry in the store. So it's a really, really good one. So here, this is the white one. And then once I'm done, I just got a little bit of a bigger brush. I'm pretty... Like, this is a smidge sped up, but not much. I'm very aggressive with that brush. I just don't want any of the excess in the background. So the one on the left is the clear embossing ink. The one on the right is the white. I don't notice any of a difference. I just wanted to show you that you have other options. So here I'm going in again with the clear. This is now on the snowy pines embossed background. And hitting it from all different angles to make sure that I have as much ink down as I possibly can. This one does have more open area, so it's a lot easier to get it into the background. Now, because I had already accepted that it was not going to be a perfectly colored background, meaning, it was going to be just the images and not any of the background, I'm fine with it. But if it's something that really bothers you when you get ink in the background, try not going over the entire thing, but just going over the raised portions. For this one, because I wanted the colors to be specific to the items I was coloring, I'm going in with the bronze on the pine cones, and then I'm going in with the green on the pine, and then I will go in with the white. Both of these have little raised dots, little snows in the background. I will show you then in an example in just a minute where I went in with the white first, and because that was the background. So that's what I usually start with, is the background. And I saw very, very quickly that my green was just not as vibrant. And I wanted my pine to be green. I didn't want it to be white. I didn't want it to be white. So that's just something to consider when you're going in with the whatever the first color is going to be on that ink. That's what it's going to grab, and that's what it's going to hold. Not that you can't tint it a little. You can, because you're not getting 100% full opaque coverage. But it's really going to be the main, that color, that first color will be the main color. I love a lot of shimmer, so these are totally right up my alley, these perfect pearls. And like I said, I've had them in my arsenal for years. I did have to go back to the store, and actually I bought them a few weeks ago, before I even knew Honeybee was going to be having their sale. And picked up a couple of other colors. You can buy them as sets, or you can buy them as individual pigments, which is fantastic. Here's where we're going to do the white one. I'm not going to show, because now we've seen this 3 times. I'm not going to show you all of it in its entirety. I'm just going to kind of just so you could see the outcome of what it is going to look like when you start with the background color. And this one I did, like I said, using the smaller brayer, I did get a lot more white into my background. The white does make it easier to see, though. It makes it easier to see where your colors are going to go. So I started with my white, and you can see I'm not being very careful with it. So learn from my mistake and don't do what I did. But you could definitely, even if you only had, one color, if you just wanted to try it, you could pick up one color of Perfect Pearls and then do just like a monochromatic background, and that would be really pretty. I would probably do that more on the snowflakes versus the snowy pine, but either one of them would work. So yeah, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. There's it's Black Friday. There's so many good sales. Some of them are just one day only. Some of them are through the 27th, which I believe is Monday. Here we're done putting on the Perfect Pearls. I'm aggressively brushing, and you'll see them when I put them next to each other here in a second, how the one on the right is so much more green because I didn't start with the white, where the one on the left is a lot more white. So just wanted to show you that example. If you have ever used Perfect Pearls before, you may already know, you can also do this with stamped images. So from the Let It Snow set and the, it's my set and I can't remember the name of it. The centerpiece one. Oh, guys. Oh, no. What's it called? It's my own and I don't remember. What are you? Pine and berry centerpiece. I'm terrible. I'm just using the pine sprigs. Stamping those down in that clear ink, and then I'm going to do the same thing. And you do want to make sure that you do this right away because you want to go in while the ink is still wet. So that is why you do the pouncing motion versus a swiping motion, because you don't want to smear the ink. You just want to pounce it right over top. And again, for the snowflakes, I am using the same colors that I used in my background. These are going to accent my sentiments. I originally showed you the Peace, Love, Joy stamp set because I thought that's what I was going to use. But then I completely fell in love with the sentiments that are in the Let It Snow set. So I ended up using sentiments from those instead of sentiments from the other one. I've used that one in the past, though. It's lovely. I really do like it. But these ones just fit I don't know, I felt like it just fit the theme better, but whatever. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. So many great sales going on. If you have not, I would encourage you to head over to the sales page and check those out. There's so many good ones. If you are buying for crafty friends, or if you are buying for yourself, or maybe, tell your significant other, hey, these are things that I want. Go check them out. We had a really good Thanksgiving. We did host our Thanksgiving for my husband's side of the family, which was great. And then I actually ended up, you know how it is when you're doing shared parenting. I ended up being able to get Peanut earlier than my normal time because they actually weren't doing too much over at his dad's house. So I was able to get him a little bit early. Here, what I'm doing is, these are some of those die-cut snowflakes from the large Lovely Layer snowflakes. They do have smaller ones, and I've used those multiple times over the years as well. But you can do this with dies as well. These ones, the Lovely Layer ones, are really, really great because they have a lot of embossed detail. And so I just brayered right over top of them with that clear embossing ink. And then I'm going to go in with the Perfect Pearls, same as before, pounce, pounce, pounce. And then I will dust off the excess. These are really nice because they're more solid, but then you have that detail that's embossed. Debossed? It's debossed. It's smushed in there. Into the snowflakes, so you can see that as well. I did both of them because I wasn't sure which ones I was going to want to use, and I actually did end up using these, and so I'll just save the other ones that I did and maybe put them on a different card. I did make 2 backgrounds. I only made 2 cards, but I made 4 backgrounds. So these other ones, maybe I'll just maybe I'll trim them down, trim them in half maybe, and use them as little panels as a focal point on a card. So here is these and how they catch the light, and they're super pretty. I did, they are a bit more on the blue side, but I like blue, so I don't feel bad about it. I am going to white heat emboss my sentiments. These are great because they're on black cardstock, so they're really going to pop off. That is the other thing with Perfect Pearls. They'll show up on a light colored cardstock if you wanted a more subtle shimmer, but they really do glow on a darker colored cardstock. Now, I used black today, but you could use a dark purple or a dark navy, a dark green, anything that's going to be, that's going to give them something to kind of jump off of. So we hosted, which was really nice. I got Peanut a little bit early, which was amazing. And then so we did dinner for Eric's side of the family, and my husband totally rocked the turkey. He queases easy, so he did gag a little bit when he was taking the items out of the center of the turkey. I'll leave it at that in case you are also a person who queases easy. But other than that, he did really, really good, and it was totally delicious. And he did make a full turkey. I told him just to buy a turkey breast, but he doesn't listen to me because he's a husband and I'm a wife. So then after that, we went to my side of the family's house just for dessert. So we got to see a little bit of everybody for the day. So that was awesome. It was exhausting, but it was fantastic to see everyone. Here, I have mounted this background on a piece of pine colored cardstock. I should have done this earlier, but I didn't. Perfect Pearls set with water. And so in order to make sure my shine does not come off, I am spritzing I'm spritzing my whole desk, honestly. I'm spritzing some water into the air and then waving it through. I did do this. I went back and did it with the snowflakes as well, just to keep it from rubbing off on my recipient or myself while I'm making it, honestly. I should have done it right after I did the backgrounds, but I was just excited about how they looked and was just moving on. The other day, I made a card where I did a little shaker, and I ended up using some craft foam. That foam was still on my desk, that little pop-up foam. And so I just used it to also cut out the same shape as my sentiments so that I didn't have to cut bunches of cardstock. And so I just popped it up on that. Yes, you can see the white from the side. No, that does not bother me. In Spellbinders, in their pop-up foam, they do have white and black. White was already on my desk. And as I've told you, I'm a lazy crafter. So I used what was within reach. So I put my sentiment down there, and that little pine you could see on either side of it. Here, the sentiment is a little bit smaller. I checked, see how that just blends into the background. So that's why I ended up using the die, because the stamped one really did blend in. But even if you don't have the 3D embossing folder, but you really like the look, if you have that stamp set or a stamp set, you could stamp a bunch, pounce your Perfect Pearls on them, and then make your own background. That would be great too. Lots of options, really versatile, but you have to love the shimmers, or your recipient has to love the shimmers, because they are very, very shimmery. I do have, and you know what, maybe I'll do, I'm due on the Honeybee channel tomorrow, so maybe I do have another way to add color that does not involve the shimmers, if you're not into that, so maybe I'll do that video tomorrow. We'll see how it shakes out, but I like giving you guys options, and 3D embossing folders are beautiful and they have all this detail, but I like to add color to them. So I like to share that with you guys as well, because it's just another way to take them up a notch. So maybe we'll do that. You let me know what you think. If you'd like to see that tomorrow, I will, maybe that's what I'll do. So here, this sentiment is then accented with the little snowflakes, and I wanted those white, don't mind my little fuzzy hairs right there at the edge of the bottom. I wanted those little white snowflakes to kind of pop up. So I went in with my white gel pen originally, and as it was drying, it was just kind of fading back a little too much. So I decided to go in, this was another one that was from my purchase recently because I wanted to try it. I decided to go in with this opaque white from Copic. It is ink, and I'm just using a number 2 brush. It's a smaller size brush, and I'm just hitting the tops of those embossed parts, and that was much better. It was much, much brighter. I also decided to go in and add just a little bit of snow to my pine cones, which I think is super cute. You could totally skip that step if you're not into it, but it was really easy to do, and I like the way that it came out. For the snowflakes, I went in and did the same thing where I got those little raised areas that are the snow, and then I added just a little bit of white around the die cuts of the snowflakes to help them kind of pop up from the background as well. And then we're going to add some gems, and then I think we're going to be done. Honestly, short one today. So anywho, Thanksgiving was good. It was really, really nice. I hope that your guys's was good as well. We had beautiful weather, which I always am appreciative of. It was a little bit chilly, but really not too bad for Northeast Ohio. It was like in the mid 40s, which is not bad for us. The gems that I'm using are the Holiday Wishes gems. I chose the whitish pink ones for the snowflakes, and then I chose this pretty kind of like copper color for the snowy pines. And then that's it. That's both cards. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I always appreciate your time. I hope that you had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you tomorrow for the next video. Bye.